Hello there, and welcome to Female History. Today, we embark on a captivating journey through time to explore the incredible life of a trailblazing woman who left an indelible mark on history. In this biopic, we dive deep into the extraordinary life and legacy of Eleanor Roosevelt. Like a butterfly emerging from its cocoon, Eleanor Roosevelt transcended her timidity and social awkwardness, blossoming into a woman of profound compassion, an unstoppable activist, and an unwavering diplomat. Her journey from a shy young girl yearning for affection to one of the most revered women of her era is nothing short of awe-inspiring. During her husband Franklin D. Roosevelt's 12-year presidency from 1933 to 1945, Eleanor served as the First Lady of the United States. But her influence extended far beyond those walls. As an accomplished politician and diplomat, she brought her tireless advocacy for human rights to the United Nations, where she continued to break barriers. So, how did she transform from a timid girl into a champion of human rights? And how did her unyielding dedication impact the world as we know it? Well, let's uncover the extraordinary journey of Eleanor Roosevelt. Early years. Our story commences in the vibrant city of New York on October 11, 1884, with the birth of Anna Eleanor Roosevelt. Her introduction to the world was marked by a surname that resonated with influence and prestige, the Roosevelt family. Notably, her father, Elliot Roosevelt, held a significant connection as the younger brother of none other than Theodore Roosevelt himself. But Eleanor's upbringing was far from the glitz and glamour you'd expect from a family of such status. Her parents' marriage was fraught with tension, her father struggling with the burden of alcoholism. But then, tragedy struck. Her mother passed away when she was just 8 years old, followed by her father's passing less than 2 years later. Eleanor and her brothers were left in the care of their loving grandmother, moving back and forth between the lively Manhattan and the serene Tivoli, New York. Her early years were marked by private tutoring. She was a shy, serious child who didn't join a formal school until she was 15 years old. That's when she took off for England to join the Allenswood Academy, a school that encouraged young women to be independent and socially responsible. Here, she started to come out of her shell under the mentorship of headmistress Marie Sylvestre. By the age of 18, she returned to New York City to complete her formal education. Making her debut at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel, she began engaging in the city's vibrant social scene. But she wasn't content with just being a socialite. Eleanor had a heart that yearned to make a difference. She started teaching at the Rivington Street Settlement House, offering guidance and hope to underprivileged immigrant children. Moreover, she became a part of the National Consumers League, fighting against the unfair labor laws and unsafe working conditions. Marriage and family life. At the tender age of 20, while pursuing her studies at Harvard University, she embarked on a lifelong journey of love and commitment. On March 17, 1905, Eleanor Roosevelt exchanged vows with Franklin Roosevelt, her fellow Harvard student and partner in life. As the early years of their marriage rolled on, so did Franklin's political ambitions. Winning a seat in the New York State Senate in 1910 marked the beginning of his illustrious political career. In 1913, he became the Assistant Secretary of the United States Navy, a position he held until 1920, when he made a run for the vice presidency of the United States alongside Ohio Governor James Cox. Though unsuccessful, it was but a minor setback in his rising career. Eleanor, meanwhile, was just as busy. During the hectic years of World War I, she balanced her responsibilities as a wife and mother while also finding time to volunteer for the American Red Cross and at Navy hospitals. She didn't stop at that. She experimented with politics and joined organizations like the League of Women Voters and the Women's Union Trade League. She also allied herself with the Democratic Party. But the 1920s weren't just about politics for Eleanor. She taught American history and literature at the Todhunter School, a private girls' school in Manhattan. Moreover, she co-founded Valkill Industries, a charity furniture firm based in Hyde Park, New York, showing her entrepreneurial spirit. In 1921, a severe polio attack left Franklin crippled from the waist down. Despite this setback, Eleanor stood firm by his side, supporting his decision to continue his political journey. This perseverance paid off when he won the election as the governor of New York in 1928. Fast forward to 1933, Franklin was sworn as the President of the United States, and Eleanor found herself as the First Lady. But this was a role she was initially hesitant to accept. She was worried about losing the independence she had worked so hard to establish. She was also aware that she would have to resign from her position as a teacher and leave many of the activities and organizations she cherished. However, Eleanor was a strong lady who never declined a task. Before we venture forth, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give the notification bell a good tickle so you won't miss out on our wonderful videos like this delightful gem. Human rights. As First Lady, she worked tirelessly to transform the traditional image of a social hostess to a significant part of the presidential administration. Advocating for women's rights, she convinced Franklin to appoint more women to federal positions and hosted exclusive press conferences for female reporters. She also wielded the mighty pen, bestowing upon the world a daily syndicated column of grandeur titled My Day. From 1935 until her final curtain call in 1962, she graced this platform with her musings on an array of captivating social and political matters. In the tumultuous era of World War II, Eleanor Roosevelt fearlessly championed the cause of European refugees in their quest for a new home within the United States. As a true advocate, she tirelessly fought for the rights of American service members, uplifting their spirits and passionately encouraging women to join the military industry. President Harry Truman saw potential in her and selected her to be part of the inaugural American delegation to the United Nations. She didn't just participate, she shone, eventually serving as the chair of the Human Rights Committee at the United Nations. In September 1948, she stood before the world delivering what would become the most famous speech of her life, the struggle for human rights. She passionately implored the members of the United Nations to embrace the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, a document set to redefine human dignity and freedom on a global scale. Her words echoed the challenges of her time, stating that the foremost struggle was protecting freedom, not only on an individual scale but also for the collective communities they belonged to. Her speech resounded not only as a heartfelt plea, but also as a resolute clarion call, urging nations to place humanity at the forefront of their priorities. And then, on December 10, 1948, the fruits of her labor ripened. The world saw a beacon of hope in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, a landmark achievement in human history, graciously endorsed by the government. This was Eleanor Roosevelt, no longer just a First Lady, but a champion of human rights on the global stage. After the passing of her husband, President Franklin Roosevelt, life took a different turn for her. After the White House, she returned to New York, dividing her time between a Manhattan apartment and her home at Valkill in Hyde Park. The place once known for its furniture manufacturing business was now Eleanor's residence. While whispers of a possible run for public office surrounded her, Eleanor made a different choice. She decided to be a highly active private citizen, making her voice heard outside the public office domain. From 1946 to 1953, she held the prestigious position of the U.S. Representative to the United Nations. Those were pivotal years when she steered the development and approval of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, a book that stands as a testament to her commitment to human rights. As the 60s rolled in, President John F. Kennedy saw in Eleanor a leader who could champion the cause of women. He invited her to serve as the chairperson of the first Presidential Commission on the Status of Women, a position she held from 1961 until her death. Her influence extended to other organizations as well. She was part of the Advisory Council for the Peace Corps and the board of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, commonly known as the NAACP. Even outside the confines of the White House, she was a force to be reckoned with in the Democratic Party. She never shied away from lending her support to politicians across the country, seeking to instill the values she held dear. And all this while, she remained an active columnist, radio and TV show host, and a prolific lecturer. Death. Eleanor Roosevelt passed away on November 7, 1962, in New York City at the age of 78, following a battle with aplastic anemia, tuberculosis, and heart failure. Even in her final years, she demonstrated the resilience that had defined her entire life. The funeral ceremony stood as a powerful testament to the profound respect and admiration she had accumulated throughout the years. She was laid to rest in a serene setting near her husband on the Roosevelt Mansion in Hyde Park grounds. The place she once called home, the place where she had championed so many causes, was now her final resting place. Though Eleanor Roosevelt is no longer with us, her indomitable spirit and commitment to human rights continue to inspire millions worldwide. Wasn't her story utterly inspiring? What aspect of her life resonated with you the most and fueled your motivation? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and until next time,